So she poked, and this is from her blood. So she rings the bell. She stands still with the. She has the stick in her hand. What does she do with the stick? She goes like this. She breaks it. The second she breaks the stick, ooh, it's over. It's over. She broke the stick. This principal, he looks at his husband, lifts his arm up, like he can't control it. He lifts his arm up. She broke the stick. He lifts his arm up, looks at his husband, starts choking the husband, starts choking him. And they get on the ground, he starts choking him. Then, when choking him wasn't enough, he starts banging his head over and over again. And it's not even like a let me knock you out. It's a let me viciously you. And it's aggressive. It's crazy. Like animalistic. And you're just like, what is going on? Because first of all, this lady comes to their house, pretends she's out of breath, asks for a bowl of water, breaks the stick, he starts killing his husband. And you're like, okay, this must be a witch. And what does she do with the stick? She throws the stick in the bowl of water, and once he just stops. The second she throws the stick in the water, he stops what he's doing. Didn't save the husband. Like the head, it wasn't a head anymore. Let me tell you that it was not. It was not a head anymore. So then she's got a different stick. Now she puts hair on the stick. And you're like, whose hair is that? That's why you're wondering, whose hair is this? She puts her blood on the stick, this new stick, breaks it. He goes off running. And where does he go running to? He goes all the way running to the gas station. To where? Where the teacher's at. Because what? The hair that this witch lady wrapped on her stick broke it. You find out it's her hair, and you find out this man has been used to try to kill people. So the second this lady breaks the stick, people start doing whatever she wants them to do. And you're like, what? Because you're still trying to piece things together. You're still like, what exactly is going on here? Because they introduce this witch lady. You're like, what is going on here? Like something is up here. And something was definitely up there. So where are we at? We just found out this principal, he got hypnotized by this witch lady who broke a stick, murdered his husband, now went to murder the teacher. So that's where we're at. And so after you see all this happening, they flash, they go back to the teachers and like side or point of view. I don't know what they really consider it in this movie. Point of view, I guess. And she's talking to the parent, and the parent is like, She's like, I don't know what happened. Like, this has never happened to me before. It's like, yeah, obviously this has never happened to you before, girl. Like, obviously some guy didn't run like this to you before and try to kill you. And she's like, I've never seen that before. The parent that's been investigating the missing kids, he goes, I've seen it before. And you go, what? He's like, I've seen that run before. And he goes, that's the same run the kids had when they left the house. They all ran in the same T format that that man ran. Like that. And she went, huh? And he's like, let me show you. He pulls out a map. He goes, like a map of, he just has a map of their city or town. He pulls out a map and goes, my kid, he started running this direction. I saw on the other people's camera, their kids, they all started from another direction, obviously, because it's a different house, but they all went to meet at this one area. And the teacher goes, that's Alex's house. Dun dun dun. And you're like, who's Alex? Who's Alex? He's the little boy who was the only one left at the school. He was the only little kid left in the classroom. He was the only one that didn't disappear in this classroom. And you're like, okay, this is getting interesting. And you're like, okay, what did Alex? You're like, what does Alex have to do with this? Boom. The TV, it flashes the name Alex, and you're like, well, we're gonna find out what Alex has to do with this. So it goes to Alex. He's at his house. His parents, they pick him up from school. They're always on time. His dad always picks him up on time. And they're all la-di-da, laughing, having fun. And then they go, okay, Alex, your aunt is visiting. She's super sick, like she's on her deathbed sick. And he goes, why did she have to come here? And they go, we're the only people she has. She wanted to come here, and she's just super sick. Like, she just needs to be here. And the dad never met the sister, or yeah, aunt. And the mom was like, yeah, like, my sister, she's super sick. So they're eating dinner, and they go, okay, Alex, brush your teeth, get ready for bed, leave your aunt alone. Like, she's sleeping, she's super sick, she's on her deathbed. That's what they told her. And obviously, this is a little kid, so what does he do? He brushes his teeth, he goes to the door that this woman is sleeping in, he opens the door, and you just see her on the bed like this. And I tell you, it looked like that lady was already gone. Like, she was sick, she was all pale and like all crinkly. Like, she looked like you know how Dobby looks in Lord of the Rings or whatever. She looked like that. She was like, and she was like sleeping with her eyes open, basically. She was, what? Thank you. So yeah, this lady, she's gone. Like, you see her and you're like, this woman is, why is she even here? She should be in a grave 20 million feet deep. That's how, oh, that's how she looked. She's not okay. So you're like, oh my god. And this kid, he looks at her and he's like, oh my god. He closed the door because it was very scary looking. And you're like, oh my god. So he goes to sleep, wakes up, goes to school. After school, all the kids are getting picked up. What happens? his dad isn't there. And you're like, that's interesting, because as we could see, his dad, like the day before, his dad was early. He was, he seemed like he was always early to pick up his kids, so, and always waiting. So you're like, what's going on here? Like, why didn't the dad come to pick up the kid? So he waits like, I don't even know, it seemed like he waited like 2 hours for his parent to come home, and the teacher, one of the teachers is like, do you want me to take you home? And he's like, nah, I'll walk. So this kid, he looks like he's 5, but he's probably like 8 or 10. So he's not, he trudges home, walks home, and he comes home, he opens the door. What are his parents doing? They're at the dining room table, and they're just like this. And you're like, and he's like, Mom, Dad, like, what are you doing sitting there? And they don't reply to him. They didn't hear him, they didn't see him. They're like this, with their eyes open. And the kid's like, Mom, Dad. And guess who's there? Guess who's there sitting across the way from the parents? The aunt. And mind you, do you remember where this aunt was at yesterday? She was as good as being in the grave. Yesterday, she looked like she was past being in the grave. She looked like she was a ghost. And suddenly today, she's talking, she's walking, she's acting all, oh, you're home. And you're like, girl, you were on your deathbed yesterday. Like, you should have been yesterday. What are you doing all lively? And then she's like, oh, you're home. And Alex is like, well, what's wrong with my parents? And she's like, sit down. Then she all stares. She's like, sit down. And she's like, I can make your parents do anything. You better not tell anyone. And he's like, what? And and she's like, you better not tell anyone about me or your parents. You better just tell people your parents are sick. And he's like, why? And she's like, I can make them do anything. So, as we know, the parents are at a dining room table. They're sitting on the dining room table. They suddenly pick up their forks. And he goes, like the kid goes, the parents pick up the fork, and they start going like this, to their own faces, like this. And then the kid was like, Mom, Dad, stop, stop. And the aunt's like, they only listen to me. And she's like, see, I can make them do worse. I can make them each other. And you're like, oh. And they're still like, at their own faces. And then she's like, I can make them do more to themselves. I can make them do more to each other. I can make them do more to you. Basically, she's saying, I can make them anybody. That's what she said. She said, I can make them anybody. So she's like, you better not tell anyone. And then she's like, they need to be fed, so you better make them some soup. You better feed them some soup. And you're like, okay, this lady is messed up. Because let's remember, she's the same lady that was at the principal's house, put the blood on the stick, broke it, and he was his husband gone. And she tried to the teacher of him, but he got hit and died. So you're like, this lady is messed up. Like, for one day she's dying, the next day she's making everyone each other. So you're like, oh no. And then, as we know, all the kids went missing. So we're like, oh my god, where are the kids? Is this lady keeping the kids? So Then we follow Alex. He's feeding his parents every day. And then a few days later, his aunt, he sees, she's like, Alex. She calls his name in her room. She's like, Alex, come here. So he comes to her, and she's like, her hair is falling out. She's slowly getting back to like being like she should be 20 feet in the grave. So you're like, ooh, she's feeding off these people's souls. So you're like, ooh, oh no, this isn't good. The parents weren't enough for her. So he goes, what's wrong? And she goes, I thought your parents would be enough for me. I'm super sick, Alex. I'm super sick. And he goes, oh, what should we do? Do we need to take you to the hospital? She's like, the hospital won't help. It hasn't helped. And he's like, what can we do? We need to make you better so you can leave and go home. And she's like, yeah, if I'm better, I'll go home. And he's like, yeah. And then she's like, you know what you can do for me? Maybe you can bring me an item from each of your classmates in school. An item from the house, Alex. Just an item, okay? You better not tell anyone, Alex. You better not tell anyone. And you're like, I'm like, this lady, she needs to go. But what does Alex do? He has to listen to her because remember, she said, I can make your parents do whatever. And that was whatever. So yeah, she was like, you better get out all the items, Alex. So we see him, he's at school, he's being sad. The teacher's like, are you okay? You're being a little more quiet than usual. Obviously, he was already a quiet kid. He was smaller for his age. The kids kind of chuckled at him, pushed him around a bit. So the teacher was just like, oh, are you sure you're okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. She's like, you can tell me anything, Alex. And he's like, in his mind, he's like, no, I can't. But she doesn't know that. So he collects. What does he do? You know how kids have cubbies in school? He collects their name tags. He collects them. Boom, boom, boom. Every one of these kids from his class, he's collecting their names. And you're like, oh no, Alex. Oh no, Alex. He puts the names in his backpack, comes home, throws the names at this lady, and she's still like almost dying. She's like, so this lady in her room, it's like a seance. She's got candles all over in a circle. She's got a tree, almost like a tree of life, where she's basically putting all these names and ribbons and all these hair particles from people on there. And you're like, this lady has done it before. Obviously, this was just a new target. So, yeah. So he gives her the names. Later that night, he wakes up. It's like 2 a.m. He comes downstairs. Downstairs in their living room, she's got a big bowl, and she's ripping up these names, and she's speaking gibberish, and she's like, she's ripping up the names, and she's like, and Alex is like, what are you doing? And she's like, just wait, you'll see. So he's watching her do this. They go outside of the house onto the porch. She rings the bell, and they're just waiting. They're waiting a while because, you know, when you hypnotize kids, they can't run that fast. So the kids, they're slowly coming towards the house, and you see all these 15 kids. They're running like this in a V to the house. She leads these hypnotized kids to the basement, and she's feeding off their souls. So at the beginning of the movie, we're like, where are all these kids? They're in their Alex's basement. They're in his basement, and I don't think he knew that was gonna happen to his classmates. I mean, I would have known if she did that to my parents. I'm like, she's probably gonna do that to the other classmates, but he didn't know. He didn't know she was gonna do that. And like, we know from the parents, she was sick and dying. Now she's better. Now she's like, who? She's like, I'm a new woman. Yeah, she was like that. I'm a new woman. I'm feeding off these kids. Yay. And you're like, oh no, these kids. Oh no. I was like, how is anyone gonna find them? So we see all this go down. Then the movie cuts back to like the teacher. Is that the teacher? Yeah, it comes back to the teacher and this parent, because they realized on the map all these kids went to Alex's house, so they're sitting, waiting, and they're watching. They're like, should we knock? Should we go in this house? I'm like, turn back, don't go in this house. Turn back, don't go in this house. But suddenly the door opens, and you know the cop that this teacher was having an affair with, he's at the house. And she's like, he's at the house. Like, the cops are at the house. I mean, the car was there, but it was there for a long time. And she's like, the cop is at the house. And he just opens the door, and he goes, and they're like far away. They're like not too far. They're like, if you're just down the street and you're like looking across to the house. So he tells me to come in. He's like, and then they're like, I guess we should come in, I guess. So they're walking to the house. And before this happens, this aunt, the witch lady, told Alex, she was like, don't cross the salt. Like, we're gonna run away tomorrow, because the aunt, she knew people were catching along to like her doing some weird creepy stuff. So she was like, she told Alex, don't cross the salt. And she made a salt across her door where the parents were. And she said, don't cross the salt. Don't cross any salt in this house. There was salt where the other people that she kidnapped basically were. She said, don't cross the salt. Leave the salt alone, Alex. Like, don't cross it. So that happened. So when the teacher and the parent came, they came to the house because the cop basically waved them in, was like, hey, come into this house. He didn't like see words, but he just like come in. So they crept into the house, and they're like, she's like, hello. Obviously, like before, the house is dark, everything's shut, closed. So she sees the cop. He's like in a weird fireplace corner, and he begs her to come. He's like, come closer. So she's about to step, and what do we see on the ground? Like like a few feet before where the cop is at and the teacher's coming, there's salt. There's salt on the ground. And what do you remember this old lady told this little boy? She said, Alex, don't cross the salt. But obviously these parents and this teacher, they don't know not to cross the salt. So she crosses the salt, and the parent was like about to stop her, but then she crossed the salt, and then the cop starts chasing her, and they're like, trying to kill them, and another person starts chasing them, trying to kill them, and she's like, oh no, and the parents like, so they start trying to push them away, and the parents like kicking people, it's like kicking them everywhere. It's like, get out of here. But they're not like normal people that like feel like they got kicked, and usually they'll be like, oh, I got kicked. But these are hypnotized people. They're super hypnotized, so they don't feel pain. So when they get kicked, they just come back up and they're kicked. So like there was a scene where like the cop she got to like the kitchen, and he like was about to choke her out on the kitchen, and I don't know why, but she got a potato peeler, and I don't know what she thought she was gonna do with this, but she started peeling his face. Maybe she thought like, oh, like he's gonna feel pain, but she started peeling his face like from the beard down. She was peeling his face like this, but he didn't budge. He didn't feel. She peeled him like a steak. Like she peeled that face like a steak, and she felt nothing. And there, she's still struggling. He still got her, and she's trying to peel his face, and he's not feeling anything. So she grabs his gun. She somehow got a hold of his weapon, and she's like, and she goes like to his throat, and he's still choking her. He still got her while there's a hole in his throat. He's like whole throat through, bleeding. It's bleeding. He doesn't feel a thing. He's still. The only way to stop him was go up, right up there, and you're like, ooh. So you really gotta these hypnotized people to stop them. Like there's nothing once they're hypnotized or whatever, nothing can stop them except someone them. So nothing can stop them. So we saw this, and the parent was struggling with another person. So she went to the other person that was with the parent, and she went to the back of the head because the parent was about to get, but she went saved the parent. And the parent, they happened to struggle all the way to the creepy basement. And what does he see in the creepy basement? He sees the kids. He sees all the kids. He's looking for his specific kid first, and he goes, he's looking for his kid. He finds he couldn't find it yet. So as this is happening, as the teacher and the parent is getting jugged around, Alex, he's still in this house with this creepy aunt. So Alex, he starts he crosses the salt. He did exactly what the lady told him not to do. He crossed the salt. And what happened? His parents started chasing him because they're kind of guarding her door. So they started chasing him. They chased him around. He was trying to hide in doors, but they're so strong. They started going through the doors. And so he got to the lady's room again. He got to her room. He saw the stick and was like, there's only one way to to save me is to grab the stick. He grabbed the stick, and he's like, he poked himself. He smeared the blood on the stick. And at this point, right now, this lady, the old creepy lady, she started attacking the parent because she was in the basement with these kids, I guess. So she started attacking the parents. They got all the way upstairs. She's attacking them in the living room. So he got the stick. He did this. He did this. And just like the lady taught him, because she showed him all the stick movement that she was doing to hypnotize people. So Alex knew what was going on. He knew exactly what to do. So he poked the stick. He rubbed it. Where did he go? He broke it. Like you're supposed to do. And what happened when the stick, the creepy old lady, she heard. And this is the same stick that she put all that juju against his own classmates. She jujued up and this was the stick of all of the classmates' stuff that she jujued up, and she went, and he went, and I don't know if this lady has super hearing or something, super feeling or something, but she heard the, even though realistically I don't think she would have been able to hear it, but she heard it. It went, so she heard it. She went, she started running, and at this point she was slowly getting back to her sickly self, so she was gonna need more people to hypnotize. So she went, ah! She started running, and what happened? We hear a grumble, boom, 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 boom. We hear footsteps, boom, 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 boom. It's all the kids, and they're chasing after her. They're running. They're going. She's going. She goes through the front door. All these kids, they go through the windows. They went through the windows because they don't feel anything when they're like that. So they went through the window. She's running. She went into another house, into some random person's house. She's running through that house. They went through that house. She kept running. She went through another house. They went through the windows of another house. And she running. She tripped. She went, ah, ah. Because she's a sick lady, so she can't run that far. And she's sick. She's like, the kid. So as she tripped, one kid catches her. She trips, the kid catches her. And they come down with her. They go, all the 15 kids, they come down with her. And do you know what these kids do? These kids, they only had soup to eat from Alex. Like, the only thing Alex was able to give them was soup. So, those kids were hungry. They were hungry. So, what did they do to this creepy old lady? Ooh. They shared a meal. They shared a 15-course meal between all these 15 kids. A 15-course meal, 15 kids. They said, yummy. Yummy. Because they're still in this trance from this lady. They said, yummy. Yummy. And they were all up on this old lady. All up on her legs, arms, body, butts. It was going up in the air. These kids, blood all up on these kids. Blood. And what happened? After she was fully from being split into a 15-course meal, then the kids stood up and they were just standing there. I think they were slowly getting out of the trance, but they were standing there. And we see Alex, we see all of the people that were chasing everyone. They stopped. They were done being hunted down, being cursed by this lady, because the second all the people that were cursed by her, they stopped being in the trance. They stopped. So, because her blood is gone, I guess, or because she was sticking her stuff with blood, which I'm like, the lady's lucky she didn't get tetanus, but that's besides the point. So, all the blood gone. Everyone was like, oh my god, woo. And all the kids, they get returned to their parents, and it took them a long time to heal. Like, most kids, they couldn't speak for a year. Like, when you're all tranced up and like someone did juju on you, like, it does a lot. When you eat up an old lady together, it does a lot. So I don't think you're really able to talk after that. So yeah, it's not gonna happen. So in my opinion, I'm like, how do you explain what happened? Because, like, the person that put everyone in this curse, in this trance, she's gone. She got eaten up. She's gone. So how do you explain all these bodies? Because there were multiple people that had to get, like, to stop them from killing people. So how do you explain? That's my question. But obviously the movie doesn't go through that part. They just went, everyone started to slowly heal. And that was the end of the movie. That was the end of Weapons. The horror movie that was out. And it was a really good movie. So there were really crazy twists and turns within this movie that it kept you on your feet. It kept you being like, but what? But what? It kept you questioning yourself, questioning the other characters, because you're like, whose fault is this? It kept you seeing, because people were having visions and nightmares of this old creepy lady. She was in people's dreams. So you're like, what is going on? And at first, she looked like a clown. So I was like, what is this clown doing in their dream? She was just a creepy old witch lady. But yeah, there were so many twists and turns to the movie. And it wasn't like a movie where, like, you know what's gonna happen. It was definitely like you had to go through the whole movie and really pay attention to know what was going on. And there was definitely, like, yeah, there were few jump scares, but it was a whole lot of, like, oh my god. It was a whole lot of don't go in there. It's a whole lot of run. A whole lot of that. And I really recommend that movie to people. It was good. I liked it. Yeah. That was Weapons. I also watched another movie, what's it called? Bring Her Back. And oof. That movie took you on some crazy twists and turns. Bring Her Back. Maybe next week I'll review that, but there was a whole lot of what is going on, because before I watched the Talk to Me, like, a couple years ago. I was like, I guess they're connected. So Talk to Me came out like 2023, I'm pretty sure. And I'd watched that one in theaters, and it was really good. And I was like, oh, this is a good one. So, and that one, they were just like, these kids were playing around, and they were just like talking to ghosts a little bit left and right. So I was like, oh, kids playing and talking to ghosts. So I thought that's what Bring Her Back was gonna be about. But oof, Bring Her Back was a whole lot darker. A whole lot darker. Like, to the point where you're like, I don't know if I could go that dark. It was so dark. So dark. But yeah, Bring Her Back was something else. Maybe I'll review that. But Weapons, I 100% recommend. Even though I did a whole recap on it, but if you didn't watch this whole thing, it doesn't make sense anyways. So watching it on your own would make more sense. And yeah, I did do some movement to show what happened, but you know, they had like character names, and like, you know, seeing what actually happened would make more sense. But yeah, I gotta go. Thank you for watching. Like, comment. Do people want to see movies? Want me to recap movies or shows on my lives? Like, what do people want? Because I feel like Like, yes, I may jump around, but I feel like I do a good thing of showing like what's going on, like, and making some things a little more dramatic. I don't know. Yeah, but that was it. Forgot this is my outfit today. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It was a crazy movie, but all of them were crazy. Yeah, I binged a few movies this weekend, so yeah, there was definitely a lot going on. But yeah, thank you for staying. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, follow my Patreon. I'm live every Monday. Bye.